Hi guys, welcome to another Friday Tips with Fenz. All right, we're going to talk about ergos and specifically smart trainers today. What is a smart trainer? A smart trainer is a device that adjusts the power output you need to produce to complete that workout. It can simulate going up hills and the power needed to do so, and it allows us as coaches to prescribe specific training sessions which will get the very best bang for buck from your training in the shortest period of time without having to go outside. So for those in the cities, it can be an absolute advantage. You know, you might not have 20-minute efforts to be able to do 20-minute efforts without getting, caught up in traffic lights, etc. And you might not have hills. So a smart trainer is an awesome way of getting over that. In the winter time when it's raining, especially for those of you that live down in Melbourne, you could, use your smart trainer during the week and you get your full bang for your buck in terms of the time for reward. All right, so what are the ways to get the best from your trainer? Okay, I think the very best way in which I prescribe training sessions to use with a smart trainer are to keep the sessions short. Okay, if you've suddenly got 2 hours to go and sit on a trainer for, it's a long period of time. And therefore I like to keep training sessions on the ergo, to around about 1 hour, 1 hour 20 at the max. But you can get a lot of work done in an even shorter period of time. Okay, you just cut down on that recovery time, free wheel time. It's really solid training. All right, so I like to prescribe around about an hour for most of my trainer sessions. And within those sessions, I like to create as much variability within the sessions as possible. There's nothing worse than just having to sit and hold a steady state power on a smart trainer for 20 or 30 minutes. It's hard. We get 5 minutes into the effort and you go, well, I've got another 15 minutes to go. Can I make this? And that leads to not wanting to get on the ergo. Okay, so the best thing to do is to change the intensities, the duration of the intervals and efforts to really spice things up on the ergo and on the smart trainer. I might make workouts that maybe 20-40s, for instance. You may have 20 minutes at 20 seconds at threshold and then 40 seconds at tempo. And that might go on for 10 minutes. And then you have a 5-minute recovery and then you do another series of efforts or intervals. That sort of interval and that type of workout goes really quickly. Suddenly you've started, you've done your warm-up, you're through the efforts and suddenly your hour's done. Okay, so mixing it up, not getting stuck in long, monotonous efforts on the erg is the way forward. Keep motivation high, get really good output and really good reward for your time. All right, so as well as that, what I like to try and do is to make sure that the athlete's not just sat on the saddle. Complete some of those efforts out of the saddle and in the saddle. Okay, again, that just means it breaks the monotony up. It's actually giving all of your muscles a bit more of a workout. You very rarely sit on the saddle the whole time you're out riding. So therefore, don't sit on the ergo and sit on the saddle the whole time. Come out of the saddle, maybe do a few of the efforts, the 20-second efforts out of the saddle, then settle back into the tempo routine. All right, so that's a way in which we can carry out workouts to stop the monotony. Another thing we can do to simulate climbing is to make sure that the bike is in the same sort of angle that you want to climb. So for instance, if you live in the city and you're targeting the 3 peaks, getting access to big climbs is really difficult. Okay, so one of the best things to do is to set your wheel up on a block that represents around about an angle of around about 8%. Most of the climbs that'll be, really pretty good for 6 to 8%. And then again, complete the ride and complete the efforts in and out of the saddle. That will really simulate the demands of what you're looking to try and do. And for those athletes that are I coach for, or my FTP coaches train for events like this that may be overseas, for instance in Singapore, that are going to go and do the Pioneer mountain bike race. There were 3,000 vertical meter days in that race, and therefore they live in Singapore. Their biggest hill is around 4 or 5 minutes long. So therefore a lot of that work is being done on ergos with a raised wheel to simulate the demands. All right, now as we're talking about climbing there, another really good benefit of the smart trainer is its ability to do low cadence SE work. Talked about strength conditioning before, strength endurance work, and it's a really powerful workout on the bike. And because the flywheel, or the wheel of the Smart Trainer, is basically controlled with resistance, you can really do some great SE work, and it will really start to clamp the pressure down on that on the drum, which will really reduce the cadence and really increase the amount of muscle fibers you need to recruit to turn the pedals. So they're great for SE work. Again, a lot of the climbing that we do out there, you're going to do some SE, so it's good to make sure that you're targeting that and covering that within your training. Okay, so you're on the trainer. One of the biggest things I see and people don't do correctly is they don't have a massive fan or big fans on them. Okay, if you don't have a big fan on you, basically your body, without that wind and the evaporative cooling that would be taking place out on the bike, your core temperature starts to rise, and it rises and it rises. And as your core temperature rises, your body redistributes blood away from your working muscles to try and dissipate that heat. As that's done, as you can imagine, what happens is your performance goes down. So a lot of people complain of not being able to get anywhere near the power they can hold out on the road, and they really struggled in that session. And a lot of the times that's because core temperature has been continually rising. They're not getting rid of that heat, and the body is trying to cope with that. So one of the best things to do is to look online and buy one of the floor mounted big fans. Okay, you can set that up in front of you. You start the ride feeling pretty cool, and without any shadow of a doubt, it's going to make sure that your body and your core temperature stays low, and you're much more likely to hit your power numbers and get your power numbers. Okay, so the next thing to think about is the fact that you're going to be sweating all over your stem. You're going to be sweating all over the metal components of your bike like never before. Okay, so it's really, really important that you make sure that you've either covered those parts, and you can get specific covers to cover the, the stem, the bars, the stem bolt, etc. Or you make sure you wash it and grease it, oil it, a little bit of GT85, just to make sure that that corrosive sweat doesn't eat into your prized possession, your bike, over time through the winter, and then all of a sudden you've got components there that are not working properly, and purely because they've just become corroded. Okay, so other things that you can think about with the Smart Trainer is what program are you going to use to power it? Now, as a founder and director of Today's Plan, I suggest you look at Today's Plan as the platform to generate the workouts that will power the Smart Trainers. Okay, we produced the Today's Plan platform to create very structured workouts, and the structured workouts are exactly compatible to be able to be uploaded into programs like Zwift, for instance. You can create a folder, and then each week from Today's Plan, your 7 workouts are ingested into Zwift. You go into Zwift, you open it up, you open up your folder, and there's your workout. That will power your Smart Trainer for that particular day. Okay, so I don't think there's a better program out there for doing that works as well as our program. And of course, all of the FTP plans and all of our workouts are specifically written to be able to be used on the Smart Trainer should you wish to do so. What other Smart Trainers or power units can our Today's Plan platform work with, and an FTP workout? You can use it on Trainer Road, iMobile Intervals, and CompuTrainer. Okay, so all of them will be able to power your Smart Trainers. CompuTrainer is its own device, and get your very best bang for your buck. Okay, so what else can we talk about? I think really what you can do with the trainer is get so much quality work for a small amount of time without having to go outside, if you're in a city, into the traffic and have your workout disrupted just trying to get it done out there. So I think the benefits of the Smart Trainer are huge. You can now join in as Zwift groups, go out there and race against others as well. And I often program specific days where, a rider might not be able to do a race, or he might be in a race block, and I want to get some, not structured, but, hard efforts that are governed by, what people are doing out on the road, and you can program a Zwift race in there. So lots and lots of things to think about. If you haven't looked into a smart trainer yet, I suggest you have a look at them. It is an investment, but it's an investment in yourself. I find that they're one of the best things to use at the moment through those winter periods, very, very hot days where you don't want to go out, or, you know, if you're in the city and you really want to target specific events and you don't have an available hill local to you that you can do the workout on. All right, guys. Look, if you've got any questions, obviously, please come over and ask us at www.ftptraining.com. You can get a contact form and hit us up with that, and I'll do my very best to answer your questions. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can also follow our YouTube channel. So get on board with the YouTube channel. There's a huge amount of information on there that will help you become fitter, faster, and stronger. All right, guys, I hope to catch you out on the road or trail. Bye-bye.